Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone here. No matter where you're at in the world, this is Viper Strike 95 Flight Simulation, and today we're here and we're back with the city tours. I can't believe this. It has been a month since I last did the city tour series. It's pretty crazy, it's been a month. But yeah, it's great to have everyone here today. So we're here at Orlando Stanford Airport, just outside the city of Orlando, and we're going to be doing yet another city tour series today. And if you guess the name, Orlando Stanford, we're actually outside of Orlando, Florida, the site of today's city tour series. I mean, what else to say there is about Orlando? It is called the theme park capital of the world for a reason, in my opinion. And it's one of the most important cities in all of Florida. So thank you guys so much for coming here today. We have Devil Dude in the chat. It's always great to have you here, Devil Dude. Thank you so much for coming. So today we'll be going through, here's our flight plan. This one is going to be probably among the longest of the city tour series flight plans in terms of distance. It is 84 nautical miles. We will be traveling through quite a bit of Orlando today. We'll take off here from Orlando Stanford. From there, we'll be visiting the University of Central Florida, home of the UCF Knights. We'll be visiting the Bounce House, and we're going to be visiting Addition Financial Arena and the campus of Central Florida. Then from there, we'll make our first landing, our first of our two stops here at Orlando Executive Airport. This is the main GA airport of Orlando, but it's actually got quite a bit of a long history to it, all things considered. And then from there, we'll be visiting downtown Orlando. We're going to be visiting Lake Eola. We're going to visit Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, and then we're going to visit the Amway Center, home of one of Orlando's two sports teams. The Orlando Magic of the NBA play here. Then we're going to visit Exploria Stadium, home to Orlando's other major league team, Orlando City FC, SC. Then we'll be visiting the Camping World Stadium. This is home to the classic Citrus Bowl. And then from there, we're going to be flying over the Pulse Memorial. This is a memorial to one of the worst mass shootings in American history. And then from there, we're going to be traveling down through all this. We'll be near Orlando International, but we're actually going to go through quite a few areas. We'll be visiting through the Florida Mall. And then the first of the three major theme parks in Orlando, we're visiting SeaWorld, including Aquatica, SeaWorld Orlando, and Discovery Cove. Visit the Orange County Convention Center. Then this site here, this is where Universal's going to do their new theme park, Epic Universe. Then we'll visit the Lockheed Martin Orlando Center, where we get to see about how Lockheed Martin interacts with Orlando. And then we'll be heading through to Universal Studios. We'll be visiting Volcano Bay. And then there is Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, as all of this is part of Universal Resort. And then finally, we'll travel down here, and then we're going to visit the Walt Disney World, which is the most visited theme park in the world, by the way. We'll visit Magic Kingdom, all the different resorts, like the Grand Floridian, Contemporary Resorts, Animal Kingdom, and all those resorts, Hollywood Studios, Worldwide ESPN Wide World Sports Complex. We'll be visiting Blizzard Beach, Epcot, Typhoon Lagoon. And then we head off to Gatorland as our last theme park. It's actually one of its oldest theme parks, funnily enough, Gatorland, world famous for all the alligators. And then we'll make our final stop here at Orlando International Airport. This airport is one of the busiest in the US, and it's continuing to get expanded, and we might even get a little bit of a tour here of Orlando International. Oh, Devil Dude is in the chat saying, lately I travel with 1,000 onto the 7.3. Oh, nice. So we're going to go ahead and travel today. So we're going to go through and travel in the Aerolite 103 from Nimitz Designs. So we're going to be back in the 103 today. So we're going to go ahead and get back to the cockpit. So before we get going, so let's talk about, before we actually get into the plane, let's talk about the airport we're at here today. Here's the slideshow. This is definitely one of my bigger ones for a single stream. So this is Orlando Sanford. This is actually the secondary airport in Orlando. It's the secondary commercial airport of the city. It was actually built all the way back. It was built a long time ago, apparently, but it was used as a naval base until 1969. Then it was turned into a major airport for Sanford as well. However, with most of the commercial stuff being taken place at Orlando International, it reduced in services, but in the most recent years, Stanford has been making a comeback thanks to Allegiant Air, because Allegiant Air made this a very important focus area, and they fly destinations from all around the country by Allegiant Air. So Stanford has flown from all over the country, and even some international destinations too. There's even been some international destinations as well, with Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal all fly into Orlando Sanford. So it's gotten a lot of attention in recent years as a major airport, and that's why it's still a very important airport, even though Orlando International is the bigger one. The top destination for people visiting the airport is from Allentown, Pennsylvania, with 79,000 people visiting there in 2022. So obviously that is Sanford as well. So that's Sanford International. So we're going to go ahead and get taken off here. We're going to go ahead and yeah, we got to start. So this is Sanford Airport. I've never been to this airport in real life. The airport I've gone down to most recently was Orlando International. I'll definitely show you off a bit more before we land. We're going to take off here from runway 18. Also, I'm not going to forget to put the full tank, because obviously I'm going to need it for today's. So guys, if you didn't know, I actually cracked the 400 followers mark this past weekend, which to me is a huge milestone. 400 followers is something I've been wanting to do for quite a long time, so I'm very happy with it. So make sure anyone else is not coming. Go ahead and take off. 17, 18, we're off. So we're off. So we're going to just fly around Sanford for a little bit, just to explore the little airport, or this international airport. And there it is, we depart from Orlando Sanford today. So let's go ahead and talk about Orlando, Florida, city of Orlando itself. Well, obviously, Orlando is one of the most populous areas in the country, 23rd largest metropolitan area in the U.S., and it's the third largest metropolitan area in Florida, behind Miami and Tampa, with a population of 307,000, making it Florida's fourth largest city. Obviously, the city of Orlando's nicknamed the City Beautiful. And of course, as well, Orlando is obviously world famous for being one of the world's most visited cities. After all, this is the place where Disney World and Universal Studios make their home. In 2018, more than 75 million visitors visited Orlando, making it one of the most visited places in the world. In addition to other theme parks, there's the Orlando Museum of Art and the Dr. Phillips Center for Performing Arts. And Orlando has world-renowned nightlife, bars, and clubs located here in Orlando. Of course, Orlando is also a very busy city for conferences and conventions. After all, it's home to the Orange County Convention Center, the second largest facility in the U.S. So the history of Orlando actually goes all the way back to the 1820s. In 1823, the Treaty of Moultrie Creek created a reservation in Florida for the Seminole tribe, pretty much the area of Orlando. When the Indian Removal Act of 1830 was passed by Andrew Jackson, they relocated a lot of the Seminole tribes from Florida to Oklahoma, leading to the Second Seminole War. And in 1842, there was a white settlement in the area, and the first settler, Mr. Aaron Jernigan of Camden County, Georgia, arrived here in the following year. During that time, Mosquito County was then later renamed to Orange County in 1845, and the new town of Orlando was laid out in 1857, consisting of 4 streets and a courthouse. And then after the Civil War and the Reconstruction era, it brought a lot of population explosion, and Orlando was established as a city in 1885. The period from 1875 to 1895 was considered by many to be the golden era of Orlando, when it became the hub of the citrus industry in Florida. However, it ended with the Great Freeze of 1895, which destroyed a lot of the citrus crop, and which forced many of the owners to give up their independent citrus groves. Now, after the Industrial Revolution, Orlando became a very popular resort during the years of the Spanish-American War and World War I. And in the late 1920s, Orlando experienced a housing development known as the Florida Land Boom. It caused a lot of prices to soar, creating dozens of neighborhoods. Now, during World War II, a number of Army personnel were stationed at Orlando Army Air Base, and some of these servicemen stayed in Orlando, and basically, in 1956, Lockheed Martin established a plant in the city. And Orlando was also known for the McCoy Airport. However, the most critical event in the history of Orlando, economically, was in 1969 when Walt Disney himself, the guy who made the famous Disney, he now plans to build Walt Disney World. Now, originally he considered building it in Miami or Tampa, but he chose Orlando due to the lack of risk of hurricanes. And in 1971, the resort opened and completely changed Orlando. It caused an extreme population and economic growth in the metropolitan area of Orlando. And as a result, tourism became a massive deal in the city, and Orlando now has more theme parks and attractions than anywhere else on the planet. It also helped that the new Orlando Jetport was actually built in 1962. That got a lot of people moving to Orlando. Finally, in the 21st century as well, Orlando now is continuing its growth. So one of the worst events happened in 2016 when Pulse, when one of the gay nightclubs in Orlando, Pulse, more than 100 people were shot and killed and wounded by an act of terrorism, and it was one of the worst mass shootings in American history. Now, some other things about Orlando. For Walt, hey, Dave Rendon, good to see you. You're in my neighborhood. Land where we have breakfast. We're gonna be landing in Orlando in executive, so we'll might meet you there, Dave. By the way, Dave Rendon does stream, and he's a good friend of another really good friend of mine, Coffee Team. So definitely check out Dave Rendon. So a couple other things about Orlando. Obviously Orlando's full of wetlands. I mean, that's to be expected when you're in Florida, mind you. With lots of lakes and swamps, it's also got low terrain, so terrain isn't a big deal. And the climate here is quite humid up there. It's a humid subtropical climate, making it quite humid due to its low elevation and all that. So, and Orlando is at moderate hurricane risk, but not nearly as bad as South Florida. In terms of economy, Orlando's economy is quite diverse, actually. You'd be surprised. You see, Orlando actually is a very important industrial high-tech center, home to many different companies, including Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, Mitsubishi Power Systems, and multiple things. Make it quite big for manufacturing for missiles. Also, it's got a lot of research and stuff, being the home of Central Florida and Full Sail University. It's also close enough to the Kennedy Space Center, but also access to Port Canaveral, which is a naval port, and that's where I got on my cruise ship during that time. It's also big for film and TV industries. I mean, it's helped by the fact that you have all those other places like Disney, Universal Studios, and more. And of course, by far the biggest in Orlando is tourism. I mean, it helps that when you have all these theme parks like Walt Disney World, Universal Orlando, SeaWorld, Legoland, and Funsville America. More than 75 million visited Orlando in 2018. And there's also major convention stuff too, like the Orange County Convention Center. Orlando also has a pretty rich culture with all sorts of different music scenes, and that's why Orlando is known as Hollywood Beach due to all the studios. There's also lots of performing arts and festivals here too. And of course, Orlando has its own sports team as well. But yeah, Orlando is quite a diverse city. I've been to Orlando many times. I almost think Orlando is like a second home because I've visited the city so many times. So we're going to be visiting next is going to be the University of Central Florida, known simply as UCF. UCF has actually been around for quite a while. But UCF has actually been around since 1963, actually. It's actually been a relatively new university, funnily enough. But it's actually one of the largest student bodies of any public university in the U.S. with over 70,000 students as of fall 2021. It was founded in 1963 as Florida Technological University with the mission of providing personnel to support the growing U.S. space program. However, it has soon expanded beyond that, and it was renamed the University of Central Florida in 1978. Most students attend classes in the main campus east of downtown Orlando, and offers more than 230 degrees from 13 colleges at 10 regional campuses in Central Florida. The official school colors are black and gold. The university's logo is actually the Pegasus, symbolizing the university's vision of limitless possibilities. And their sports teams are known as the Knights. Some very notable alumni include astronaut Nicholas Stott. There are many executives, part of many Fortune 500 companies. There's also very famous NFL players, including Dante Culpepper, Brandon Marshall, and Asante Samuel have all been players for the professional sports teams. So basically there's a lot of alumni here too. Lots of well-known businesses. So now that is UCF in a bit of a nutshell. So then in UCF we're going to be seeing FBC Mortgage Stadium, home of the UCF Golden Knights. This is their football program with a seat capacity of 44,000. However, that's not the thing the stadium is known for. Because when it was constructed, it was called the Bounce House. That's because whenever the fans bounce up and down the stadium, it actually kind of shakes. Now, something about that to keep in mind was, although it stayed this stadium was structure sound, it will not cause long-term damage to the facility, measures were taken to reduce the effects. I don't know how it caused it to bounce. So that's why they call it the Bounce House. The record attendance for a game here in UCF was in 2009 when 48,000 fans attended the game versus 9th-ranked Miami. And finally, the last major facility we're going to be visiting at UCF is going to be Addition Financial Arena. 9,400 fans who watch UCF play college basketball. It can also be configured for many of the family events as well. So that's going to be it. Now we're visiting Central Florida. Welcome to UCF, everyone. University of Central Florida. I'm going to go ahead and talk down a little bit. Talk down a little bit. Man, it looks nice here. Yeah, the view is really nice, Dave. Orlando is my second home, technically, because I visited Orlando like over a dozen times. So I know this city quite well, even though I'm a tourist usually. So here is quite a few. So this here, we're going to fly over the bounce house to our left. Is the This is going to be on bounce house at UCF, our left. So I hope you guys are doing great. I'm going to go ahead and make a change to my stream elements. Now, if you guys are interested, I do have the Discord link, by the way. If you guys are interested and if you haven't followed, don't be afraid to follow the channel if you like what you see. If you want to do more, you can always join the Discord. Here's the Discord link, by the way. So this is UCF Stadium, the bounce house. It's a single-tiered seating. It's quite traditional for most college football stadiums. It's a single-deck seating. There's more of the facilities here, like there's the baseball field. And right here is the arena. There is Addition Financial Arena over here. And here it is overall, and here's the campus of UCF. So over here is the campus of Central Florida. This is the entirety of the campus here at Central Florida University. It's a pretty big campus, I'm not gonna lie. And I mean, you're gonna need a big campus, because it's gonna be Central Florida. You're gonna need it for 70,000 people at any campus. It's pretty crazy. So we're now going to appear to our first stop here at Orlando Executive. We're going to go ahead and make a quick stop here there at Orlando Executive. A bit of a background about Orlando Executive Airport. Kilo Oscar Romeo Lima. So about Orlando Executive. This airport here is a public airport, 3 miles from downtown Florida, but this airport's actually been around since 1928 as Orlando Municipal. During World War II, it was used as the Orlando Army Air Base. And it was used for the 1st Bomber Command and later by units of the Army Air Force Anti-Submarine Command to fly a lot of the patrols in the East Coast. And then they also had night fighter operations here as well. The 481st Night Fighter Group was established with the Douglas P-70, which is basically the night fighter version of the H-20 Havoc. After the war, it was released to the city of Orlando. But the military support facilities were still under the control of the U.S. Army Air Forces, so it was renamed Orlando Air Force Base. And this was used at the beginning for airlines, mainly on national airlines and Eastern Airlines in the 1940s. In fact, the issue was with the introduction of new jet planes like the Boeing 707, DC-8, and Convair 880, the runway 725 wasn't even big enough to hold these. So they had to, so they moved their operations to McCoy Air Base, which secured the end of a lot of the jetliner flights. Though there were still some turboprop flights still make their way here in the airport until the 1960s. And then afterwards it became a GA airport. So this has been about the history of Orlando Executive Airport. So we're going to go ahead and land on runway 25. We're going to land in straight in. So if you guys have a prediction, here's the predict. Here we go. Exclamation point predict, and we'll make our lane at Orlando Executive. That would be a great way to continue. And yes, we see all these names around here. If I was a vet man, most of these people are actually here in Orlando International. Police either in Orlando International or actually all the way in Tampa. Don't know. That may be my most likely thing to comment on, correct? So it's great to have all you guys here. I hope you guys have had a great weekend so far. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend for all of you. So some news I actually discovered. So Typhoon Studios is doing a massive free update for their Denver International Airport. Pilot Plus has released a new airport, Beacon Hill. Now everyone should probably know it. Anyone who knows World War II should probably, especially in the UK and anything on Spitfire, you guys should know about Beacon Hill Airport. It was used as one of the principal fire bases during the war. Airplane Heaven is announced their new plane, the Globe Swift. Then there's a big update for the Honda Jet. And finally, the last thing is that Orbex has a new announcement. They're coming out with their new South America mesh for South America, around 25 gigs. So if you guys love flying South America, I probably recommend. I like South America a lot, so I think it'll be well worth it. Yeah, this would be one of the interstates leading to Florida. This is beautiful. I really enjoy the city, so if you guys don't mind, I'll play a little bit. More chopped up and lively. Yeah, very happy to get 400 followers this weekend. That was a pretty big goal for me. My new goal is now 500. And then if I get 500 at some point this year, I'll do a very special stream, 500. There's the airport. yeah, there's downtown Orlando right in front of us. There's downtown. So this area right here is, according to the map, we're actually entering, go between Colonial South. Also, apparently soon is the Farnborough Air Show. That's going to be tomorrow. Is going to be the Farnborough Air Show, which is one of the largest air shows in the world. And apparently in 2022, they're going to bring a lot of stuff. They're going to bring in the Boeing 737 MAX 10, which is the largest of the 737 MAX. And they're also exhibiting, they're also going to exhibit the 777X, which is the new 777. It's the biggest plane currently of all the wide bodies. It would be a massive plane. You go like your airliner stuff, but they got all sorts of things coming to the show. Here we go. And we're going to land here in Orlando Executive. .42 feet per minute, not bad. Hey, Sponsor 6, great to have you here, guys. Sponsor 6 is in the chat. Definitely check out my excellent friend's channel. He's an excellent friend of mine in the channel. Sponsor 6 is a great friend. And you're always welcome to come here, Splasher. So here we are at Orlando Executive. We're going to go ahead and land in the grass. So welcome here to Orlando Executive. Let's show around the airport for a little bit. I know it's just default scenery, but still want to show it off. So this is Orlando Executive. I mean, with the view of downtown Orlando. So this, good morning to you, Splasher. So yeah, there's all sorts of people here at Orlando International, and there's probably even more here down there in Tampa. So guys, we made our first stop here at Orlando Executive. So from here, we're going to go ahead and get planned for the second leg. So I'll be waiting here for a minute or two to see if anyone else wants to join in. By the way, guys, if you want to join in, I'm on East USA server. So you're more than free to actually check in and fly along. Just take something slow enough. The Shock Ultra or Savage Cub would be great. It wouldn't be difficult to keep up with it. Oh my gosh, look at this. So that one's a big old Boeing 787 Dreamliner. So we're going to be doing the second leg, Splasher. So leg 2 of our trip will be pretty important leg. We'll be going off from here and we'll be visiting the rest of Orlando. We'll be visiting downtown. And then we'll be visiting all the theme parks in the area, like SeaWorld, Universal Studios, and Disney. So this is going to be a pretty long one. So that's going to be leg number 2 for the trip. It's going to be a par for the course. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing back in the air. Go ahead and circle around back from the way we came. We're going to take off here from runway 25. Back to the taxiway. And get ready to take off. And we're back up. So we're going to go ahead and go straight. We're going to head to downtown Orlando. There's downtown in the distance. So, guys, after this plan, we'll be finishing the Japanese adventure stream on Wednesday. Will be the final part of our journey here in Japan. And then I'll be doing the next city tour series. The question is, which city would it be? Probably go back somewhere more international. There's probably somewhere international I want to visit. There'll be a lot of cities international I've been interested about visiting. Maybe I do something a bit more cool and interesting. First, so definitely this is welcome to Orlando. Welcome to Orlando. So the first area we're going to visit is going to be a little later. That is going to be the Dr. Phillips Center of Performing Arts. It's going to be there. This Performing Arts was actually opened in November 6, 2014, and joined the Ballpark Theater as Orlando's main performance venue. This venue can seat up to 2,700 people for theater, but it also features quite a few other halls and other facilities like a family room and additional theaters. Apparently, it also is its first play was the non-replica production of the Phantom of the Opera in 2014, which is its first Broadway production. But it's featured quite a few other areas too, as well. Then afterwards, we're going to be visiting. This is going to be the Amway Center, home of the Orlando Magic. It's one of Orlando's 2 professional sports teams, by the way. This has been their home since 2010, with a seating capacity of 18,846 for basketball. It's also the home of the Orlando Predators, our National Arena League, and the Orlando Solar Bears of the minor league hockey league, the ECHL. It's been the home of the 2012 NBA All-Star Game, but it's also been used for other events like professional wrestling, local graduations, and more. But it's also featured lots of performances and concerts. Hey, Banya's player, good to have you here. Hey, congratulations on making your way down to congratulations on making your way to London. Guys, shout out to Banya's player. He actually helped me get to 400 followers. Yeah, this is Orlando. So this is the Amway Center, guys. Over the Orlando Magic basketball team. I actually got a chance to visit the Magic a long time ago, though. It's been a long time since I visited the Magic, but I absolutely loved watching the Orlando Magic. I think it was a ton of fun. I bet it was a lot of fun. So yeah, this is my city tour series at Banyas. I usually do these every single Sunday, and I explore a bunch of cities with photogrammetry, and I teach you all about the history of each of the cities and the major landmarks. So I've done them so far. I've done on Louisville, Nashville, Atlanta, Salt Lake City, London, England, home. So now this is the latest one, Orlando. This is downtown Orlando. It looks really good, actually. The photogrammetry looks very good here in Orlando. By the way, guys, if you're interested in joining my, have you ever done Tampa? Oh, yeah, actually, I've not done Tampa yet for a city tour. But at Banyas, I actually did Tampa and St. Petersburg in my baseball series. I've done the baseball series as my first series back in the channel. And I covered the Tampa Bay Rays. My favorite team, by the way, is actually in the Tampa Bay area. So this is Amway Center, a bit closer to the ground. So this is Amway Center. This looks like the 25th season of the Orlando Magic. And I even got to visit St. Petersburg, actually, and visited Tropicana Field. That'll be a very interesting baseball park. Yeah. But I did fly over Orlando previously. So after we flew here to Orlando, by the way, after we visited here, we'll make our way to Exploria Stadium. I don't think it was built at the time for the sim, unfortunately. But Exploria Stadium is the soccer-specific stadium home to Orlando City SC, opened in 2017. It was also home to the Orlando Pride of the National Women's Soccer League. It's also been a venue for the U.S. men's national team for soccer, by the way. And how will we get to one final facility? Cambium Stadium. It used to be the home of UCF and Orlando City FC, but currently it's now well known for the Citrus Bowl and the Cheez-It Bowls. It seats up to 60,000 people. And here's an interesting fact about the film, the stadium. This was a filming location of the 1998 Adam Sandler movie, The Waterboy, was actually filmed here at the stadium, by the way. Pretty cool stuff, but it's hosted all sorts of events. It got renovations in the 2010s, to now make it a much more modern, make it a much more nicer facility, make it quite a bit nicer facility. Oh, Dryson, good to see. Oh, The Waterboy, yes. This is, now, of course, so this is Camping World Stadium. Now, if it looks like this, it's because it was going through renovations during this time. It was going through renovations, which is why it looks like this. In reality, the stadium actually is complete. Oh, The Waterboy. Yeah, I never watched it, but I know it's quite a classic movie. So I do have a Discord link earlier in the chat. If you're interested in joining my Discord, you're always more than welcome to join my Discord at any point. You guys are more than welcome to join my Discord. It'd be really awesome if some of you could join it. And that Discord also gives you the latest notifications for my streams. I also post all my slideshows and stuff from there. You guys can take a look at it before the stream starts, if you're more than interested. The Waterboy is such a childish movie for teenagers, but I was about that age. Cool. So we're gonna fly over the Pulse Memorial. This was the memorial for one of the deadliest mass shootings in American history that happened all the way back in 2016 that killed 100 and 62 more were wounded. So we're gonna pay a visit to the memorial, pay our respects. That this nightclub shooting killed so many people, injuries, like but the main part we're going to be visiting today, Abanez, is going to be on all the amusement parks today. We're going to be visiting SeaWorld, Universal, and Disney, along with a very underappreciated theme park, Gatorland, which has historically been one of my favorites from growing up. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I like it. Orlando's technically like a second home for me. I visited the place so many times. So over here, right over here is this is where the Pulse is at, below us, right here. So this here is the Pulse nightclub. This is where there's the Pulse nightclub down below. Yeah, Orlando's really cool. It's more than just for tourists, by the way. Orlando's got a lot of culture. It's got a lot of it's got culture. It's got a lot of it's got very good. It's got lots of nightlife, arts, music. It's got all sorts of things too. So it's more than just theme park Disney. It's much more than that. We're going to visit actually one of the largest malls in the country. This is the Florida Mall, opened in 1996. It's one of the largest single-story malls in the U.S. and the largest mall in Central Florida with a gross leasable area of 1,718,000 square feet. It contains over 250 stores in the mall. Iceman 333, check it out. By the way, guys, if you like your helicopters, he's also Iceman 333 is from my home state as well, Indiana. But he's a helicopter expert. The dude's really good with helicopters, and I really highly recommend you check out Iceman streams. He makes some really excellent streams. But definitely check out my good friend Espn. I hope you're doing amazing, my friend. I hope you're doing great. I do, like, it's hard to believe Orlando, one of the things I love about visiting Orlando is there's lots of swamps and areas, but it definitely makes it a very interesting area to fly. But you also have all this urban area, and suburban area, with swamps. I'm doing great. Awesome, man. I'm happy that you're doing great. So just doing my research stuff where I'm doing great in Orlando, Florida. A beautiful, definitely a really cool area here. So to our left, that's Orlando International. We'll be visiting that at the end of our journey today. I may even give you a little bit of a tour around the airport. Since it is handcrafted, I might be able to give you a little tour of the airport. Outside of Louisville, that is the most visited international airport I've visited. On the field part, the Florida Mall is located down over here. But yeah, it's got over 250 plus stores. But yeah, there's lots of different stores and all that. This here is the Florida Mall. So this is the Florida Mall down here. It's a pretty big mall. This is all a single-story mall, but it's a very impressive. Oh, that's awesome! Hey, congratulations on reaching 400. Oh, thank you so much, Splasher. Yeah, 400 follows, guys. I finally cracked 400 this weekend. Yeah, pretty crazy. So outside the Florida Mall, we're going to be visiting our first theme park area. We're going to visit SeaWorld area. So we're going to visit first Aquatica. This is actually one of the sister parks here of SeaWorld. Particularly, Aquatica is actually the water park for Seattle, for Orlando. It's themed to the Southern Pacific. It features Australia and New Zealand-based mascots like a kiwi, kookaburra, a conversant dolphin, and more. It features a wide range of attractions for all ages and swimming abilities, some of which pass by or through animal habitats. It also features 2 wave pools around 80,000 square feet with man-made white sand beaches. There's like all sorts of body slides, famously being their dolphin plunge, their signature attraction. Passing through a pond of conversant dolphins. There's also raft slides, lazy rivers, and here at Aquatica. And then we can talk about the world famous SeaWorld Orlando. This is a very famous theme park. SeaWorld Orlando opened in 1973. It is actually the most visited of all the SeaWorld parks. SeaWorld features lots of different animal exhibits, and it's also world famous, or infamous, depending on who you ask, of all the orca shows going around. It features, it even now features a couple of roller coasters, different attractions like about river rapids, water coasters, indoor exhibits, and of course they're more famous for the live entertainment, particularly the Cambium Stadium, which is about orcas. However, SeaWorld used to be even more popular back then than it is now, and that had to do with the infamous documentary, by the way, depending on who you ask, Blackfish, which if you never heard of Blackfish, the documentary, it talks about the orcas in captivity and all. But it caused a lot of change disruption for SeaWorld. And they're still having to try to get through that to this day. And the final thing is Discovery Cove. This theme park will allow you to engage with a wide range of marine animals, including bottlenose dolphins. It's also all-inclusive. But yeah, you can talk, and play with bottlenose dolphins. There's also free flight aviary with over 30 species of exotic birds and 250 tropical birds itself. It also opened a new Grand Reef, and that's filled with moray eels and sharks and other tropical fish, and you can use snorkeling. And of course, a freshwater oasis with otters and all that too. So, and that opened in 2000, by the way. So we'll be visiting SeaWorld today. Go ahead and take a visit to all of it. We'll be taking our time here at SeaWorld. So this first thing is Aquatica, water park, SeaWorld water park, guys. This here is Aquatica. This is the water park, by the way. So this here is the Aquatica water park. So you see all the lazy rapids. No, it's photogrammetry. Funnily enough, it's all photogrammetry. So this is all the water park. It's photogrammetry. It's not a separate scenery. So all this is from photogrammetry, by the way. All photogrammetry. I mean, Walt Disney World's going to be the same too with photogrammetry. Yeah, that's not bad. That's actually pretty solid photogrammetry. So we have all sorts of water slides and play areas. I've never been to Aquatica. Now, SeaWorld, on the other hand, I've been through SeaWorld more than a few times. So now we're going to visit SeaWorld Orlando, by the way. So we have the Dolphin Theater. There's all the Dolphin Theater. Unfortunately, there's so many trees though. So we get to see a few roller coasters. There's Manta to my right. Here's Manta, the flying coaster. Then there is Kraken. There's quite a few other areas around SeaWorld. I'll be able to circle around again. Then there's the big lake. This is the big lake in the area. And then to our left, the world famous orca encounter, which you get to see Shamu. Of course, it's still controversial because you know the whole blackfish thing. And then down in this area currently is actually home to one of the other roller coasters in the area, Mako, which is a hyper coaster. So yeah, SeaWorld in more recent years has been building more roller coasters to make up for, you know, the loss of some of their profits, to bring more people to the Tice. that is SeaWorld Orlando. We will be visiting. You get to see all sorts of stuff. You also have seal counters and everything. So I usually take quick pictures because I post these pictures on my Discord, by the way. I like to post these pics on my Discord. I highly recommend you guys check out my Discord. Now, if you haven't followed my channel and you like what you see, and then to our left, I'm going to go ahead and turn. Is going to be Discovery Cove. So this area is going to be Discovery Cove. So welcome to Discovery Cove, where you can swim with dolphins and meet all sorts of marine animals. This is Discovery Cove. And also to you, Viper, no problem. I'm like happy to help. So we'll blast our way back to SeaWorld. There's also a kids park here now, as of now, called Sesame Street Land, which is the child theme park here in Orlando. So we'll be flying over SeaWorld for one final time. Goodbye, SeaWorld. And then we'll be visiting the Orange County Convention Center, one of the largest convention centers. That looks great. It does. It does look great. So the Orange County Convention Center, the second largest convention center in the U.S. after the McCormick Place. It consists of 2 buildings covered by a covered pedestrian bridge. Which is right here. But it hosted all sorts of events during its time. It hosted all sorts of events. There's even an arena, actually, that once been held here. So look at this. This is the convention center. Look at huge. It's a massive convention center. I mean, let's look at, if you look at the bird's eye view for this, it's huge. I mean, the convention center is over 7 million square feet of total space. It's 7 million square feet of space in the convention center. But this convention center hosts all sorts of different events. I mean, just look at that. There's all sorts of event calendars on their website. So yeah, that is all Orlando Convention Center. Massive. Then after we visited the convention center, there's something else I wanted to visit here, actually, in Orlando. You'll see this giant empty space in front of us. Guess what that's going to be? It's going to be one of the Universal Resort parks. So let's talk about Universal Studios. The Universal Orlando Resort is the second most visited resort in the Orlando, behind only Walt Disney World. It is actually the second largest resort in Greater Orlando, behind Walt Disney. The resort covers 541 acres of land. It consists of 2 theme parks, Universal Studios Florida and Island of Adventure, an on-site water park, Volcano Bay, on-site district, 8 hotels, a beach resort, and it'll soon add a new park, Universal's Epic Universe. In 2007, over 21 million visited Universal resorts, second only to Disney, and that's been around since 1990 actually, or pretty recently. But this area in particular is going to be the site of a new Universal theme park. Epic Universe is going to be a brand new theme park coming in 2025, by the way. It's now being constructed right now. It won't be open until 2025, but it would feature all sorts of new attractions. However, they did have one thing confirmed coming into it, which is going to be Super Nintendo World coming. It will have a new roller coaster based on Mario Kart. So it's going to feature all sorts of roller coasters based on Nintendo. But I think they're also going to focus on other stuff too. But it'll also feature entertainment centers, hotels, shops, and restaurants. So that is going to be Universal's Epic Universe. It's going to be a massive park. Coming soon in 2025. So, yeah, all this, mind you, all this land is going to be for a theme park. But I mean, it's par for the course here in Orlando. So now in front of us, now this is the Lockheed Martin plant here. This is Lockheed Martin's plant here in Orlando. And Lockheed's been around Orlando since the 1950s. What they've done a lot more of is they focus a lot of missile systems and technologies are developed here in Orlando. All of this is under Lockheed Martin. So there's the Icon theme park here. We're now going to visit Volcano Bay. This is Universal's water park. It's famous though for featuring a 200-foot tall volcano called Aquatica, and it opened on May 25th, 2017. Each of these, now all their attractions are in 4 different themed areas inspired by each of the various Polynesian islands and cultures. And the volcano houses 3 drop capsule slides, including the tallest body slide in America, the Ko'okuri body plunge at 125 feet. Unfortunately though, as of in the sim, Volcano Bay was currently under construction, so this area here is Volcano Bay. But that's since been under construction. So there's Volcano Bay. What would be Volcano Bay? So down here is the fun spot stuff. This is like the Magical Midway Arcane Slingshot. And then there's Fun Spot America down over right where I'm heading at. That's Fun Spot America. So we're going to visit now Universal Studios Orlando, Universal Studios Florida. So Universal Studios Florida is actually the first of the parks opened here on June 7th, 1990. This park featured a lot of, it's owned and operated by NBC Universal and features numerous rides, attractions, and live shows. And it was the first component of the larger Universal Studios Orlando resorts to open. In 2019, 10.9 million visitors visited here, making it 11th in the world among all amusement parks. It features all sorts of different rides and stuff. It features 8 themed areas around a large lagoon, being Production Central, New York, San Francisco, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the World Expo, Springfield, Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone, Hollywood, and Lagoon. There's a lot of different attractions here. However, the most famous ride here is the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. in Revenge of the Mummy, one of the premier indoor roller coasters around here too. There's also the Harry Potter stuff, where we can visit all sorts of stuff with Harry Potters. It includes a lot of Harry Potter stuff, so if you're a big fan of Potter, definitely recommend checking it out. But I've also, the last time I've been here, it's been years since I've last been here. However, I once visited the park a couple of years ago. So the last ride I've been to, I went on to the ride called Jaws. I remember that back in the day, the Jaws ride in Orlando, Florida. And that lasted all the way to 2012. So we're going to visit Universal Studios Orlando. And then its sister park right ahead of it is Islands of Adventure. Islands of Adventure came out in 1999. It was the second of all the places in the Universal Studios Resort. It featured all sorts of... But it featured a lot of stuff too in areas. Consisted of 18 islands, including Marvel Superhero Land with the Incredible Hulk roller coaster, Typhoon Lagoon with comic strips. Then there's the newest island of the park, Skull Island. Then there's an area known as Jurassic Park, featuring the Jurassic Park ride, Riviera Resort, in the Jurassic world famous roller coaster, the Velocicoaster. One of the world's best roller coasters, people say. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, in one of the most expensive roller coasters on the planet, Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, The Lost Continent with Ancient Myths and Legends, and Dr. Seuss Landing are all major areas of Islands of Adventure. Let's take a bit of a closer look. We can go ahead and pull the laps, and we'll get a bit of a closer look, if you guys don't mind. So I hope you guys enjoying the city tour so far. I wanted to visit all these theme parks as well, because that's a big part of Orlando, by the way, is theme parks. So here it is. This is Universal Orlando. We can see the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So this is, I think they're still constructing the Harry Potter world. Then there's the Simpsons ride, all that. Simpsons ride. There's the Hollywood Rip Rocket ride. So there's more resorts. The Hollywood Rip Rocket. Where are we now? We're in Universal Orlando Resort. We're in Universal Studios, Florida. And once we get past here, we're going to be visiting Universal Islands of Adventure, which is right next door to it. The Islands of Adventure is basically right next door to it. So we're now in Islands of Adventure. You can see the Typhoon Lagoon. Here's the Incredible Hulk roller coaster. Marvel Superhero Island is where we're going to be at. Now, I know it's weird saying, but Viper, I thought Disney owned Marvel. Yeah, but when they were originally building Islands of Adventure, Marvel wasn't owned by Disney during this time. Because Marvel, they didn't really own all these properties. They let other people use them, so that's why Sony still owns Spider-Man, for example. There's like Typhoon Lagoon, with all the Dr. Seuss stuff. Then this world is supposed to be the world of Harry Potter. So all this is still probably getting built. This is the Jurassic Park stuff, including the world famous the Velocicoaster. There is Universal. So yeah, that is it. That is going to be Universal. So now we're going to visit, finally, I think, what most people think of Orlando, Florida, and in theme parks here in Orlando. Yes, Walt Disney World. I mean, come on, the whole face, but we're going to Disney World. That is a massive part about pop culture. But Disney World Walt Disney World is an entertainment resort complex here in Bay Lake, near Orlando, Kissimmee, opened in October 1st, 1971. It is operated by the Disney Parks division of the Walt Disney Company. It covers nearly 25,000 acres. It comprises of 4 theme parks: Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, 2 water parks, Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, 31 themed resort hotels, 9 non-Disney hotels, golf courses, camping resort, and more. It was originally designed to supplement Disneyland Anaheim, which was the original Disney thing. However, it became even bigger than the original one. In 2018, it was the most visited vacation resort on the planet, with an average annual attendance of, get this, 58 million people. More than 58 million visited Walt Disney World Resort in 2018. The resort is the flagship destination of Disney's worldwide corporate enterprise and has become a popular staple of American culture. Walt Disney World was actually hosted the NBA bubble in their sports complex. And in fact, here's another fact about Walt Disney World while people get. It's also covered by an FAA prohibited airspace, so you can't even fly over Disney World without the approval of the federal government, and that includes drones, by the way. Making Disney World protected in the same case as nuclear weapons plants, military bases, the DC Metropolitan Area Special Flight Area in Camp David. Yeah, that is actually pretty insane to think about. 58 million, it's crazy. But yeah, that's Walt Disney World. I mean, this park transformed the city of Orlando completely. I don't think Florida's ever been the same. If Florida never had Disney World, it would have been, Orlando would have been just a quiet city in Orlando. Yeah, Disney, there's so much about Disney. Lots of theme parks, lots of guys, we visit the most famous Disney resort area. How about we visit the most famous one first? What most people think about Walt Disney World and what most people think about it And this is the most famous one. How about Magic Kingdom? I know it's been years since I last visited here, but this was the original park opened when Disney World was first brought into it. Opened on October 1st, 1971 as the first park of the resort. It is still the most visited theme park in the world. In 2019, it hosted 20.9 million visitors, making it the most visited theme park in the world for the 13th straight year. It was the most visited theme park in North America for the past 19 years. The park is represented by Cinderella's Castle, inspired by the castle featured in the 1950 Disney film Cinderella. But you see, this is more than just Cinderella's Castle, however. You see, Magic Kingdom is also divided by 6 different lands. Main Street USA, Adventureland, Frontierland, Liberty Square, Fantasyland, and Tomorrowland. Main Street represents the earlier 20th century town, inspired by Walt Disney's childhood home on Marceline, Missouri, and represents the park's opening credits. The features all sorts of merchandise and food, a working barber shop, lots of souvenirs, and of course Cinderella Castle, which is about 189 feet tall. It also features a statue of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse in front of the castle. Adventureland is representing the adventure of 4 lands, featuring Pirates of the Caribbean, the Jungle Cruise, the Enchanted Ticket Room, and the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. Frontierland is all about the American Wild West with cowboys and Native Americans, featuring Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, and Country Bear Jamboree is all featured here at Frontierland. However, Splash Mountain is going to actually get a complete theme replacement. In 2024, it's going to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure, based on the 2009 film Princess and the Frog. Then Liberty Square features the American colonial town, which includes the Liberty Bell riverboat traveling down there. Fantasyland is all about the medieval fair and carnival style, featuring things of Peter Pan and Winnie Pooh. And the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train actually is one of their newest attractions. And finally, Tomorrowland, featuring things of the space age. And of course, the world famous attraction, Space Mountain. So that is a bit about Magic Kingdom. You should be approaching it pretty soon. We're actually approaching it right now. Now all this down here, by the way, this is Disney University. This is where all the people learn to be staff at theme parks. I mean, just look at the parking lot. It's actually stupid how many parking spots. So welcome to Magic Kingdom, guys. Your next tour guide. So welcome to Magic Kingdom, everyone. And yes, this also is covered with photogrammetry. So this guys here is Space Mountain. Look at that. That looks amazing. Look at Space Mountain. That looks really good. Like they did a lot of work for the photogrammetry here in Magic Kingdom. It looks insanely good. The Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and of course, okay, I need to make a landing here because I gotta take a pic at Cinderella's castle. Man, look at all this area, mind you. it wasn't a safe landing, fine. There it is, me and Cinderella's castle. Now I've been to Magic Kingdom without having to pay the server money to get there. So welcome to Magic Kingdom, everyone. There we go. Now we can explore the rest of the park. Now we can explore the rest of it. And look at all these resorts, guys. Now, mind you, these are all resorts, by the way. There is the world famous Magic Mountain. Space Mountain, I meant Space Mountain, obviously. There's Space Mountain, very famous landmark. Here's Big Thunder Mountain. All sorts of that area. Just look at that. That's cool. And we're gonna say goodbye to, well, Cinderella's castle. We're gonna visit all sorts of resorts. We're gonna be visiting the first one, the Grand Floridian Resort, based on the Victorian style era, containing over 867 rooms with an average of 400 square feet per room, and offers multiple amenities and recreation activities. This is based off the Victorian era architecture. Here. Look at that. These are all resorts, by the way. I mean, and mind you, Disney has over 30 of these resorts, by the way. 30 of them. And then once we get past the Floridian one, we actually have. Then we have the Polynesian Village Resort. This is the Polynesian Village Resorts. This was actually one of the original resorts at the time, opened in 1971. And here's a famous fact a lot of people don't know. Besides the 11 2- and 3-story log houses, this was famous in 1974 on December 29th, when Lennon signed the paperwork that officially broke up the Beatles. It was signed here. When I saw that, I was not expecting it to actually be here at the village. But yeah, that was the case. That's true. The Beatles officially broke up here by John Lennon. And then we're going to visit the Contemporary Village resorts. This one is based off, it's actually the other resort. It's one of the two original properties located at the complex. And this site was famous in 1973 when President Richard Nixon said, "I am not a crook." And the reason this was important was because during that time, Richard Nixon was under investigation for his political crimes, for his political fraud and all that. Apparently for wiretapping and all that. There's also monorail stations and everything within the complex. Swimming pools and all that. So there's that. And then we're going to visit the Wilderness Lodge. Down here is the Wilderness Lodge. This is based off the national parks of the Western U.S. Opened on October 28, 1994 as a 4-diamond award-winning resort hotel. It features a lot of elements from both natural and Native American elements. features spas, there's restaurants, fitness centers, theme pools, and more. There's even an artificial geyser and hot springs located here. This is the wilderness. Lodge, and the island. And this island here to our right, this is actually an abandoned island. This is Discovery Island. This was used to be open to the public between 1974 and 1999, where people would observe the birds. However, it's abandoned, but any watercraft by the Bay Lake can still see the island. Oh, and by the way, there are people that actually been caught trying to visit the island. People wonder where it's even closed. So there is that to keep an eye on. So we're now going to push ahead, and we're going to visit the other areas. So then we're going to visit probably one of the most important other parts of Disney, of Walt Disney Resort. We're going to be visiting Disney's Animal Kingdom, actually. So Disney's Animal Kingdom is a zoological theme park here in Walt Disney World Resort. It is actually the world's largest theme park, by the way, at 580 acres, or 230 hectares to be exact. Opened on Earth Day, April 22nd, 1998. It was the fourth park builder resort. It was dedicated around the natural environment, animal conservation. And unlike other Walt Disney World theme parks, it didn't just feature traditional attractions, but it featured hundreds of species of live animals with special designs to protect the animal welfare. And they've done a lot of work to make it more friendly to the animals. In 2019, over 13.8 million guests have visited Animal Kingdom, making it the third most visited theme park in North America. It's second among all Walt Disney World resorts behind Magic Kingdom. Its icon is the Tree of Life, a 145-foot tall artificial boab tree. It features all sorts of themed areas, including the Oasis, Discovery Island, which is got Flow. This is their own version of it. Then there's Pandora, the world of Avatar. Yes, they got Avatar, actually. You get to visit Pandora. Then one of the original areas, Africa. Then there is Rapid Planet Watch. Featuring like a pen zoo and all that. An Asia theme. And finally, Dinoland USA with dinosaurs and other stuff. So we're going to be visiting Animal Kingdom. So that is going to be, I think we visited close to Epcot. Yeah, you can see all this theme park area space is close. be visiting Animal Kingdom. Gonna be coming here pretty shortly. So yeah, I hope you guys are impressed with the notes taking I did in my research. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. I mean, you guys are the most important things for me when I do my streams, by the way. There's Animal Kingdom down to our left, so we're gonna go ahead and turn left here. Hey, US APR, great to see you. Which one's Busch Gardens? Well, USPR, Busch Gardens is actually in Tampa, by the way. The one here in Florida, it's actually in Tampa. So it's further west in Tampa, just right outside of the city of Tampa, Florida. Trust me, I'll be visiting Tampa at some point during the City Tour series. We're currently right now in Orlando. We're currently visiting Animal Kingdom, the world's largest theme park, over 580 acres. And Animal Kingdom's featured all sorts of different animals living here, like okapis, lions, hippos, rhinos, crocodiles. So this is Animal Kingdom, everyone. So we're in the savannah area right now. Flying through Africa in the savannas. Then from here we're going to be visiting safaris in the Gorilla Falls. Then if we turn right, we'll be visiting There's also right here too. Expedition Everest is located around here. Legend of the Yeti. This mountain themed roller coaster is also one of the most expensive roller coasters ever made. Made over $100 million to build this thing. Here's Expedition Everest. So there's Expedition Everest. Okay. I heard. Okay. Don't worry, my friend. It's a good question, though. There's so many theme parks around Florida, it can be quite difficult to see where is which. In this area currently is where the Pandora part is, right here. This is like the main area to connect everything else to the park. There's even a dinosaur themed area too. All those who love dinosaurs. Go ahead. I mean, here's the thing that's pretty crazy. Look at the parking lots. Look at the parking lots. Look at the parking lots. You could fill some stadiums. There's sports stadiums with even less parking spots, like parking lots than this. Actually pretty crazy. Then right next to it is the Animal Kingdom Lodge. This is an award-winning lodge, the Lodge Resort, opened in 2001. You can actually see some of the crazy animals and stuff from being in the savannah, but also there's restaurants that are themed to African influence. And around the lodge, there are 3 total 11-acre savannas with all sorts of animals, mammals, reptiles, and birds. You can see them in the savannas. Just right off the lodge, so you get a good view of the animals just around the area, which is really, really cool. Now we're going to go ahead and turn left. We'll be visiting from there. We'll be headed away to Blizzard Beach. Disney's Blizzard Beach Water Park. I mean, it's pretty insane. There's so many areas. We already visited the USAPR. We already visited we've already visited SeaWorld. We already visited and Universal Studios as well. So we're going to be visiting Blizzard Beach next. This was actually the second water park that was opened by Disney on April 1st, 1995. Yes, April Fool's Day. It actually was the third water park. In 2016, it hosted 2,091,000 guests, making it the third most visited water park in the world. It's open year-round with annual maintenance during the winter time. The majority of the areas of the park are on top of its mountain, Mount Gushmore, which we will be seeing pretty soon. It was conceived by designer and Imagineer Marshall Monroe. He had a beach chair-themed chairlift with beach umbrellas and built-in snow skis. It's basically a beach themed ski resort and all that. So apparently, according to Disney legend, a freak snowstorm happened that created floors for ski resorts and everything. It created all sorts of theme parks and areas. The most of them are in three areas: the green, purple, and yellow slope, featuring the Plummet, which is its flagship attraction, 120 feet tall, and apparently riders can go to speeds of 60 miles an hour down the slides. As well as its flagship attraction, by the way. There's also a family whitewater raft around 1,400 feet. And there, the purple slope has the Double Dipper, one of the world's only side-by-side flying racing tubes, and the red slope features a hardcore rapid rides. So that is about Blizzard Beach, so we'll beat. There's also lots of other resorts down here. These are usually the Valley resorts down below. But we're now going to be visiting Blizzard Beach Water Park. We'll be taking some bit of our time there. I had to get back on track, so here's more of the resorts. Now these are all value resorts down here. These are all sorts of different little resorts. Careful not to crash. What's the rest of it? There's the All-Star Music and Movie Resorts. Yes, these are all little value resorts, mind you. Take as many people in to make these resorts. But trust me, Disney needs all those resorts, mind you, because, well, when you have over 50 million people visiting the theme park in 1 year, you're going to need that many people. So we'll be visiting Blizzard Beach, the water park. So here it is, Blizzard Beach Water Park, down ahead of us. So welcome to Blizzard Beach. So you have all the different slopes of the mountain. There's the green, purple, and yellow slopes. There's that tall 100-foot tall water slide. 60 miles an hour are going to be going down through there in a bike slide. There's also crafts and all that sort of stuff here at Blizzard Beach. Now, the only reason I haven't been going to Disney is the ticket prices by you. For example, if you want to go to Magic Kingdom, by the way, and if you're really interested about visiting Magic Kingdom, this is the most visited park in the entire Disney chain. Here, park tickets. Admission. All right, all tickets and passes. Here it is, your ticket to Magic. Magic Kingdom. Your fantasy becomes true. So, we're going to be visiting Coronado Springs. This is one of the value resorts in the area. So this is Coronado Springs. Here. This was opened on August 1st, 1997. It is the only moderate level Disney resort with suites, cafeteria style restaurant, full of dining, and more. There was also a large expansion in 2017 to put a 15-story tower near the entrance. During this time, these are all resort areas. There is the Coronado Springs Resort here in Orlando. And then we'll be visiting Hollywood Studios. So Disney Hollywood Studios opened on May 1st, 1989. It was actually opened as Disney MGM Studios theme park, believe it or not. MGM Studios actually had involvement in this park. It was the third of 4 theme parks built at Walt Disney World, spanning 135 acres, dedicated to the imagined worlds of film, television, music, and theater, drawn from the golden age of Hollywood. The Sorcerer's Hat became the symbol of the park in 2001. Because it's been around for a long time. And then now the visual centerpiece is the Chinese Theater. In 2018, the park hosted 11.25 million guests, making it the 5th most theme park in North America. It features a lot of areas, including Hollywood Boulevard, Echo Lake, which is by Los Angeles, Grand Avenue, which is a gentrified historic district based off LA. Then there's a Star Wars themed area, Galaxy's Edge, which costed $1 billion to build and took its 14 acres. And then there's Toy Story Land for the kids. Featured all sorts of Toy Story stuff. Animation Boulevard and Sunset Boulevard as well. So that is Hollywood Studios. Here it is. Welcome to Hollywood Studios. Look at the photogrammetry here. This looks excellent. Photogrammetry. Looks stunning here at Hollywood Studios. Look at that. That's simply too cool. That's too cool. I mean, imagine you get to visit all the Disney theme parks without having to pay the exorbitant ticket fees. Only catch is you won't get to enjoy any of the rides, unfortunately. You get to visit Hollywood Studios. Okay, I just figured out the ticket price for Magic Kingdom and all that. For a One day, Magic Kingdom journey trip. Select tickets. Permission for tickets to Disney's Magic Mountain. $109 per person. $109. You know, for $109, you could buy a couple of add-on planes for Microsoft Flight Simulator. You could buy the Leonardo Mad Dog, and you still have enough for a Boeing 247, basically. You still be price. But, and look at the parking. Look at the cars. There's too many of them. There's too many parking spots. Then we'll be visiting the ESPN Wide World Sports Complex here. 220-acre sports complex features arenas, baseball fields, soccer fields. It's been host to quite a few tournaments as well. But it's actually opened back on March 28, 1997. This 220 sport complex. It hosted many other events. 2020 NBA bubble was actually held here because of COVID. The MLS's back tournament for COVID. The Pro Bowl skills competition for 3 years. The Clay Court Championships, and even the Atlanta Braves have used it for spring training. So we're entering this complex now. All this is the ESPN Wide World Sports Complex, guys. Look at all this complex. You have all sorts of sport fields, football fields. And I've actually been here before. I've actually visited this area before. To watch the Braves play. I watched the Braves play spring training here, by the way, one of these years. And they played spring training here until 2019, by the way. So here it is. A bit of an overlook. This is the complex. It's got all sorts of different little arenas. It's got baseball, finally ballpark, spring training. Isn't that cool? Here is actually 7,500 feet. It also has a field house, 5,000 capacity arena, features an athletic center plus another little arena that can seat 8,000 people and more. So after this, we're going to be visiting quite a few other resorts like the Art of Animation Resort, the Cambium Beach Resort, and all that. Obviously, the Caribbean Beach Resort is going to be themed after all the Caribbean islands, and that being Martinique, Barbados, Jamaica, Aruba, and Trinidad. Will all be things influencing the Caribbean beach. All of these are mobile buildings on one big 45-acre lake known as Barefoot Bay. And next to it is actually one of the newer resorts. In 2019, the Riviera Resort, based on Walt Disney's experiences in Europe and his love of the French and Italian Riviera, featured a full-size pool, leisure pool, and interactive splash area for the children. All of these are additional resorts and areas. All sorts of these new resort areas. There's Barefoot Bay. And this would be where the Riviera Resort is at. And then we're going to visit a very well-known theme park, Epcot actually. This is Epcot. This is the last of the Disney theme parks we're going to be visiting today. This theme park is actually the second of the chain, actually, in 1982 on October 1st. Based off an unrealized concept by Walt Disney. It spans 305 acres, more than twice the size of Magic Kingdom. Epcot is a dedication of human achievement. It is often referred to as a permanent world fair. There's Mongo. Good to see you, my friend. It's known as a permanent world fair. It hosted 12.4 million guests, making it the fourth most visited theme park in the world. And the seventh most in the world. It's represented by Spaceship Earth, which is this thing right here, which I would be foolish to not take a picture of. I mean, that is definitely one of the more recognizable scenery here at Epcot. So the thing about Epcot, for a lot of those who don't know, Epcot features all sorts of different areas. There's 4 main theme areas known as neighborhoods: the World Celebration, World Discovery, World Nature, and World Showcase. So the World Celebration is the park entrance, featuring the Spaceship Earth, which is actually 18-story tall sphere and hosted its own dark ride. It also features all sorts of other pavilions, like creativity, imagination, and the arts. Then World Discovery is featuring space, science, technology, and intergalactic life, including Other World Showcase, including the wonders of Xanadar. And this is actually the most recent thing because it introduced a brand new roller coaster, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, newest ride here, but also featuring Mission Space, among space restoration, and Test Track, featuring a through ride based off automobile testing. Then there's World Nature, which preserves the beauty of the natural world. And a future attraction would be the Journey of Water, which would be a new attraction coming in the future, inspired by the 2016 film Moana. Along with Soar Around the World, Living with the Land and Awesome Planets. And finally, the World Showcase. And that's what gave it the fair, the Permanent World Fair. Featuring many different countries of 11 different countries, by the way. Traditions, culture, and more. They are Canada, France, Japan, Italy, China, Mexico, United Kingdom, Morocco, United States, Germany, and Norway. So that would be a bit about Epcot. Those are a bit proposed pavilions, including pavilions for Brazil, Puerto Rico, the Philippines, Russia, Denmark, Switzerland, Costa Rica, Venezuela, the United Emirates, and Israel. And all of these are other conventions, so this is all the Epcot stuff. Sure. But man, Epcot is definitely pretty. I think of all the ones, I think it's definitely beautiful here. Look at Epcot. And there's Mega Oz here too. Mega Oz, good to have you here too. I bet you're flying along with us. But yeah, this is cool. I really enjoy this theme park, by the way. If you guys like what you see, don't be afraid to smash that follow button. And if you already followed, don't be afraid to check out my Discord. So yeah, this is Epcot. Awesome theme park. I definitely want to go back and see some of the Disney parks now. They added all sorts of these new stuff. It's been years since I last visited a Disney theme park. I'd be really interested to see what it looks like now, especially with all the changes. Look at that. That's awesome. So there's a couple more places we're going to be visiting. There's the Boardwalk Resort, featuring things about Atlantic City and mainly Coney Island. Then there's the Dolphin Resort, Walt Disney Dolphin. Far left. It's not based off the animal dolphin. It's actually based off the nautical dolphin, which is, I think, for shipping. Then there's the Yacht Club Resort. Features its own convention center. I mean, look at this. Look at these resorts. Like, they spend a lot of money getting these resorts for the way they need to look at it. And then there's the one final pass to Epcot. And we're actually going to feature one of the largest resorts in Disney, believe it or not, and that is Port Orleans. It's the French Quarter plus the Riverside. They look like New Orleans and Old South. It's actually combined as one of the largest resorts in Disney. It features a 3.5-acre recreation area known as Almond Island, which houses the resort's 150,000 U.S. gallon swimming pool with the rustic sawmill themed water slide and hot tub. We'll be visiting both those areas, but it's among Disney's largest resorts in terms of space. Here's Almond Island. There is Port Orleans. There's Port Orleans. Look at that. It's all connected by a river, and these resorts are meant to look like Old South, by the way. I mean, isn't it just insane how many resorts Walt Disney World has? Like, I know Universal has like all sorts of resorts. That's not compared to Disney. It's a different world. So we're gonna finally visit the last of the parks. This includes water parks, by the way. So this is going to be Disney's Typhoon Lagoon. This is actually the second of the theme parks. It's home to one of the world's largest outdoor wave pools, where you can even do body surfing. Centerpiece is a shrimp bowl that was Miss Tilly, and upon a mountain named Mount Mayday, which erupts a 50-foot geyser every half an hour. In 2016, it approximated 2,277,000,000 visitors, making it the second most visited water park on the planet. And it operates year-round as well. Of all the major parks here in Walt Disney, it is the Blizzard Beach and the 4 theme parks are within Bay Lake. So it features all sorts of attractions, including speed slides at Mount Mayday, and Highway Bay featuring the Crushing Gusher water coaster. Typhoon Lagoon is actually the largest section of the park, featuring its massive wave pool, which has 6-foot-high waves. And it used to have Shark Reef, but that was a former closure, however. So that's about Typhoon Lagoon. Let's explore the little park. This here, there's the wave pool slide. This is the Typhoon Lagoon water slide area. When it's open, it had a lot of water in the sands, and There's more rides as well. But like I said, there's so many trees. So there is Typhoon Beach. There's Typhoon Beach for all of us. Like I said, we don't have much farther to go because we now have the Saratoga Springs Resort. It's the largest of the vacation club resorts, featuring 18 villa buildings and 820 vacation home units, which is around 1,260 guest rooms, and an additional 60 treehouse villas. It was inspired by, well, Saratoga Springs, New York, a place Walt Disney's visited when he was younger. And it's still a very well visited tourist attraction used to this day, and that's all the way to Saratoga Springs, New York. Okay. So this is Saratoga Springs Resort. Because all that is the resort area. And there's the Lake Buena Vista. And then we're going to talk about Disney Springs. This will be the last thing about Disney today. An outdoor shopping, dining, and entertainment complex, the Walt Disney World Resorts, opened it back in 1975, went through all sorts of name changes and expansions over the years. Features 4 distinct areas: the marketplace, the landing, town center, west side. And according to the fictional history of the place, it was settled in the mid-1800s by a cattle rancher who discovered the town's namesake springs and expanded the town. This is all shopping areas, by the way. All sorts of different shops and everything are covered here. There's all the shops. There's also water taxis you can take to travel between Disney Springs and some of the resort areas. Yeah, these are boats people can actually get on to travel through the lake. So that is it, guys. That will be the last Disney spot location we're going to be visiting. Now we're going to be visiting a completely different theme park here today. And if you like your nature stuff, you're going to like this theme park, particularly if you like reptiles. But you know, I'm actually a fan of reptiles myself. So we're going to go on to this direction. 6.2 nautical miles to go. Wow, we nearly got it done here today. This was quite the expansive journey, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying it. So we're actually going to be visiting a place called Gatorland, actually. So Gatorland will be our final theme park for today's trip. Now, this is actually an 110-acre theme park and wildlife preserve here in Florida. It was founded, actually, it's older than Disney even, 73 years ago by a guy named Owen Godwin on Fort Cattle-Land in 1949, and is privately owned by his family still to this day. It's billed as the alligator capital of the world, featuring thousands of alligators, including the rare leucistic alligators and crocodiles, along with many other animals. Attractions in the park include a 3D marsh with a boardwalk, observation tower, zip lines, off-road swamp vehicle tours, a miniature railroad, alligator feeding shows, an aviary, a petting zoo, and many educational programs. In fact, famously, the Green Marsh area of the park is used for the filming of the 1984 movie Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. The park's also well known for finding and rescuing a lot of the nuisance alligators from trappers that would otherwise be killed as well. And I know in recent years they've really expanded the park. Previously it was just a little train, but now there's now zip lines, and they even make there's even a zip line they can make it accessible by wheelchair. And that was about 1,200 feet long. There's also a gator spot as well at the fun spot Orlando Park. You get to see all sorts of things at the park. Pretty cool. And unlike the Disney parks, this one will not break your bank account because it only costs $30 to get in compared to this is all marshlands right here. Down below is all marsh.
This guy stretch a little.
Sorry, gotta stretch. A little stretching goes a long way, guys. You know that, right? So, for Gearland, we should be approaching Gearland then, and then once there, we will be landing at Orlando International, and I'll be giving you a brief overlook at the airport. Shall we? But yeah, that would be the end of our city tour series, guys. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on to today's stream. My first city tour is over a month. Actually, nearly a month, to be honest. Should be right in front of us. This is all Gearland. this here is the land known as Gatorland, is down below us. Here's the famous theme park sign, so you have all sorts of gators and all that live around this area. Home to lots of exhibits here at Gatorland. And then we can finally head to our final destination, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap up the stream. We're going to be going to our final stop, Orlando International Airport, guys. This is the main international airport that serves the city of Orlando, Florida. It was originally built in World War II as the Orlando Army Airfield, but jetline flights came here in the 1960s. Early jetliners came here, like the 707, Boeing 720, DC-8 in Convair needed the longer runways, so they made this a narrow airport. Its previous call sign, MCO, referred to its former name as McCoy Air Force Base. It's currently the busiest airport in the state of Florida, and it's the 10th busiest airport in the country. It serves as a hub for Silver Airways and operating base for JetBlue, Southwest Airlines, and Spirit Airlines, as well as a focus city for Frontier. Southwest is the airport's largest carrier by passengers. It's also a international gateway to the Mid-Florida region with 850 flights daily over 44 different airlines. It also serves 135 different domestic and international destinations. It's also one of the largest commercial airports in terms of land area in the U.S. with over 12,600 acres. It features, and it's currently continuing to keep expanding as well. They're going to build a new terminal, which I've actually saw during my visit to Orlando International. During my visit to Orlando International, I saw a new terminal being built, Terminal 3. To handle the absolutely crazy demands for the passengers. But yeah, Orlando International is a very big airport. And it's actually the international airport I visited just as much as I did with Louisville, by the way. And I mean, they fly all over the place. They fly all over the place. They've done flights to Hawaii, they've done flights to Iceland, and Norway. There are flights even as far as Dubai, by the way. Emirates flies from here to Dubai to here. LATAM flies to South America through Sao Paulo, and Brasilia, Lima, Mexico City. London Heathrow, Manchester, Dublin, Edinburgh. Basically, a lot of destinations fly to Orlando, Florida. It's pretty crazy. They all make their routes down here in Orlando International. I've been to the airport. It's pretty crazy. Trust me, it's a crazy airport. The busiest domestic route from here to Orlando is through Atlanta with over 1 million passengers from Orlando to Atlanta, followed by New York, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Chicago O'Hare are the top 5. And in terms of international routes, the busiest is actually London Gatwick, with 943,554 people, followed by Toronto, Canada, Panama City, Panama, Manchester, United Kingdom, and Mexico City, Mexico. Yeah, that's pretty crazy to think about. These are really busy Orlando routes, by the way. So yeah, we will be visiting here soon. Oh, did I go in the complete wrong direction? This is why you should not judge Biker Strike on his decision making. Okay, even I make my mistakes. I'm so sorry. But we're gonna land on runway, we're gonna land on runway 36. There should be plenty of parking space. Yeah, Orlando is a big airport. Don't matter. Oh, prediction -95. You call my prediction USAPR. No. Predict -150. There you go. So that's gonna be it, guys. That's going to be the end of today's journey. We're gonna show you a bit of Orlando International, if you guys don't mind. Just a quick overview of it. Down over here, by the way, down south of this is the new terminal location, currently being built here. See, down in this area is where the third terminal is being built. So yeah, it turns out Orlando's big enough to build 3 terminals. Pretty crazy to think about. So we're going to make our landing. Hey, negative 146. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing parked, if you guys don't mind. Parked. Okay, it is parked. Let's go ahead and see some of the landings. There's a PR in the Savage. There's Mongo in the P-28. Today, I think we're going to rate Captain Arash after the stream. He's currently flying in Iran right now. Flying from the Persian Gulf to the Caspian. So we're going to be rating his channel soon. Let's look at SAPR and the good old Savage Cub. An excellent little push point. That thing can go anywhere you want. This should be an easy landing for someone in a Savage Cub. There's Mongo. There is Mongo. He's going to make the landing in the Piper PA-28 Arrow. So I'm going to wait till all you guys land. Then we'll explore around the airport for a little bit. So I think you're all made it down. Nice. So now we're going to go ahead and tour around this airport for a bit. This is handcrafted, by the way. And actually, this is a handcrafted from the default game, too, I believe. Done. So let me show off this airport then. So this area here is this area in particular here, this is the UPS service area. Where UPS delivers all their packages. I mean US parcel, it's actually US Postal Service, USPS. Give all the US mail and postage. This here is additional other areas. These are all cargo areas. They're all different cargoes. These are all the different cargo areas like DHL, American Airlines, and all that make their cargo. All their cargo areas for all the cargo planes. And then in this area here, zoom out, you will go over here. These are the terminal areas here. There are 4 separate little terminal areas. These are 2 separate gate areas. So these handle all sorts of flights as well. These are all little terminals here in Orlando International. Now, each of these is connected by a little monorail. And you go through the monorail into the main terminal area right here. And all of this is a building here. And what's really cool is that not only are there buildings here at the airport, but inside there's also an on-site hotel from Hyatt. That way for guests to await flights and all that, and there's a lot of lobby areas. There's a hotel on site, and you basically have, there's all the parking in terminals. And all of this connects you to all sorts of different terminals for flights all around the world. Not nearly as much as other places, but definitely more than enough to do around the world stuff. So that is a bit of Orlando International. So thank you guys so much for coming here today. I think we know who we're going to raid as well. We're going to raid Captain Arash today. Haven't raided his channel in a long while. So a bit of something coming up. We're on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're going to wrap up the Japanese Adventure Tour. We're going to finish the last 2 legs of that. And on next Sunday will be another new city tour series. We're going to go somewhere a bit different. I'll let you know in the chat. I'm going to keep it a surprise to all of you where we're going to be going next. So I want to say thank you guys so much for coming along onto today's stream. I really appreciate all of you for today's stream. Thank you guys so much for coming along and accompanying me. This was quite the expansive journey. So thank you guys so much. Take care, everyone. Fight for Strike 95 will be signing off. Take care, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.